It would help if I wasn't muted. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We're here. Usually I have a whole process. Like, I'll start the stream 10 minutes early, but I was eating and then I forgot. So today's been a morning. Today has been a morning. Last night was a night. It's been just a mess. A mess all around, unfortunately, but it's okay. So it started with fireworks, obviously, because it's the week of 4th of July and we live in Texas outside city limits. So fireworks, 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 which is great. And then, so Kodo's freaking out. It wasn't a lot. It was like one every once in a while, but they were pretty big and loud. You know how kids are. They've got fireworks for the week, so they're like, oh, let me go shoot one off, and then it's just like 1 hour or something like that. But I don't know. That was enough to set Koda off. After I heard like the first one, I gave her medicine. She didn't care. It did not help her at all. So we didn't. I was trying to keep her calm. I didn't really want to spend all like the rest of the week in the closet. But she was like having a rough time. So I turned on all the fans in the room. I turned up the TV loud, trying to keep her calm, and did that. Then I was like, well, let me see if I can work on some things while I'm trying to figure her out. If you're not aware, Xbox Live had a service outage yesterday. It wasn't actually live that was a problem. I guess it was their sign-in servers. So all the servers that validated sign-in, the login information went down, and so people couldn't log into Xbox for hours. And of course, I was on the tail end of that. So I was trying to get in, and then I was like, okay, well, if I'm wanting to play Final Fantasy 14 on my Xbox, I should probably get it downloaded. Yesterday we were talking a little bit about servers, so I was like, okay, let's try to do that, see what that's about. And then I found out apparently that I guess years ago I had I'd already signed up for, I guess, the free trial back then or whatever, and so I couldn't do it again. So I downloaded the Xbox version, and it was like, nope, you can't do this. And I was like, okay, cool. So that was fun. And then this morning I tried to do it on my PC, and it was like the same thing. It wouldn't even let me log into my account. So I was like, fine. So I bought the game. Dawn Trail just came out. It was like $60 for the base game plus Dawn Trail, which includes all the expansions. I was like, whatever. So then I bought it, and as soon as I logged in, as soon as I downloaded it on Steam and logged in, the game was like, oh, here's another account of yours. Would you like to add all the other content you own? And of course, it brings up all the PS4 and PS5 content that I bought years and years and years ago. I was like, why? If I already owned it, why did you just make me buy it all again? So, yeah, I bought that. And then I was making a frozen pizza for breakfast, lunch, and then I dropped it. So I dumped frozen pizza into my oven. That was already preheated, obviously. And so I was like trying to scrape melting cheese and cooking pepperoni off of the oven at 400 degrees, which was great. So there was that. So I just took a long shower and ate some chicken nuggets. And now we're here. Sometimes, you just got to take a shower and eat some chicken nuggets. Sometimes that's just what you have to do. Oh, also my speaker, my shower speaker, the batteries are dead because I'm an idiot and didn't charge them. And so I couldn't even listen to my audiobook while I was in the shower. So that's sad. But here we are. We've made it. I'm just going to have to give... What's up, Coda Bear? I'm just going to have to give Coda more medicine. I think she heard her name. Do you want to go outside? Okay. Of course she does. Now I'm talking to you all, so she's like, who you're talking to? If it's not me, pay attention to me. I'll be right back. I'm going to go let her out. Alrighty, we're back. Sorry. Now she's being a big baby and doesn't want to go outside by herself. So it's like, wait. But anyway, we're here now, and we're gonna do some D&D prep. That is the plan for today. So should be a good old time. If you can hear Discord, that's my entrance. Anyway, yeah. So I'm kind of gonna walk you through what I do when I start a new module or when I go over some things. It'll be similar to what you might have seen me do something like this in the past. I mean, a few weeks ago, I did a session wrap up or started a session wrap up on stream, and that's similar in a way, but this one, I know all the characters, I know the story for the most part, I know where things should be going. I just have to plan for as much as I can. So I have taken more of like a hands-off approach in the last few modules or the last few chapters, just to give my party some time, or some more like leeway, I guess. I'm trying to be less stringent on things and kind of pushing them only when they really need it, which I think I was doing okay in the past. But I think for me, the way I planned for things is if things weren't going the way I had planned for, it would take me longer to adjust. But now that I don't plan for as much, it's, much easier just to figure things out as we go. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna show you all that fun stuff, and we'll get started. So should be pretty, I don't know, if you like this kind of stuff, it's gonna be interesting, but just walk you through the process. I am on, oh right, I'm on the wrong screen. This is what I want. Whoop. Screen capture. Okay, so I own obviously the modules. The book is over there. So I own all of this stuff, but I try to use online resources when I can. It cannot show you the online resources that I use, potentially for legal reasons. And I'd just rather not get in trouble. So I'm going to show you essentially what I'm looking up, or talk to you about what I do or what I'm doing, and then you're just going to have to trust me as far as where I'm getting it from, kind of stuff. But we obviously start with an outline, a basic outline. So I'll make this bigger so that it can probably be seen a little bit better, hopefully. But yeah, so I usually just start with where we are in the big picture and then what area we're in. So in this case, the adventure, the module will start in Candlekeep, and it will start in their meeting room. So now that I know that, I need to start building around that. So we can go to our big map, which is where everything starts. So this is a continental map of Faerun. This is where essentially all the campaign has happened. And the last place they visited was the High Forest up here. So there was a temple that appeared in various places in the High Forest, and they had to help. They defeated some hags there. So they were teleported back, luckily, into the waters outside of Candlekeep, and then they have made their way back. So we'll probably start with some downtime activities. We'll probably give their characters a couple weeks to recuperate and start working on those downtime activities as they're, a little bit, they need time. They need time to do things is more or less the gist of it. So that's what we're going to start with. Sorry, I have something caught in my throat. But I need to build a new folder for this. I try to keep a lot of the general stuff out and about. So this is the map that we're on. And then the meeting room is pretty generic too. So I already have a meeting room there. Pretty much it's like the hub, right? So I need to add a new folder, not a new scene, but a new, okay, that's not working the way I wanted to. Oh, here we go. New folder. This is going to be Book of Cylinders. That is the name of the new chapter. Hey, Mappa, how are you doing? You doing okay? Yeah, sorry. Book of Cylinders. And then it doesn't really matter what we call the thing. I think most of my folders have been black, with the exception of Price of Beauty. 8/10? Well, 8 out of 10 is pretty good. We are hanging in there. It's been a night and a half, but we're living. So what are you gonna do? What have you been up to? All right. So now that we can start with the meeting room. Now that we know that the folder is created. Grim Dawn. Is that what you've been playing? That's like an ARPG similar to Diablo, right? Maybe. I think it is, yeah. Yep. I played a little bit of that. It wasn't bad. I love Titan Quest. I have played Titan Quest. Sometimes I go back and play Titan Quest just for the fun of it. Okay, so we can go ahead and delete Price of Beauty there. But what we can do is bring in what the new book looks like. And so let's see, we can copy this image, and I don't know if I can paste it directly in here or not. I can. Oh, I don't need two of them. Just need the one. And we can shrink this thing down to where it looks like a decent sized book. I want it big enough to where it looks like they get some details out of it. If it's a little too big, that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. But Grim Dawn is technically a Titan Quest mod, is it? That's kind of crazy. I didn't know that. I really enjoyed Titan Quest quite a bit. Okay, Control V. We can do the same thing here. Shrink that to 5 feet. So we got that. So this is what the book will look like. And then when they open up the book, they'll get something like this, which you guys can see because it's on my screen, but the players will not be able to see if I hide it. Also, this person is no longer important to them. Interesting. Well, that's cool. I think I liked Grim Dawn. I only played it for a bit, but I mean, it felt pretty good at the time when I was playing it. I played it a bit after it came out, so I think it was a little bit dated by the time I actually got there, but it still felt good. I think I like the story. I was always a fan of Greek mythology, so. Grim Dawn doesn't have the cozy. Yeah, true. Titan Quest is a little cozy. But I mean, with a title like Grim Dawn, I don't know, that opening cinematic with Medusa, with the Gorgon. I don't know if you can call that cozy. It was pretty crazy. But overall, it was good. Okay. So we have our meeting room. That's where our first location starts, and we can kind of set this up as we need to. We need to gather a few things. Firstly, we need the book that the adventure is starting with. So we have that, right? Obviously, we need somebody who introduces the book to us. So let us go back and kind of start mapping some things out. So I have Oren Glass and Vizier Og. These are the staples, essentially. They're characters that are almost always going to be there. Mostly places you went: Greece, Egypt, China, and the mountains. They looked really nice, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Diablo is the same way as Grim Death in that term. Like, even from the first one, when you went, when you were in Tristram, like, even the cathedral is pretty dark and gritty, and, you know, you're slaying demons immediately. But yeah, I agree. I mean, most of the time, the mountains or the overmap was pretty bright. Kind of had a Diablo 2 vibe to it. I thought a lot of the areas in Diablo 2 were pretty bright too. I guess, I mean, maybe not bright. Like the desert area was pretty flashy, but the swamp area was not. I hate swamps in those games because they always have the stupid insects that shoot things at you and poison you. Dumb. So yeah, Orin Glass and Vizier Og will be a staple here. We can also go ahead and add in our introductory character, which is going to be important. This person is going to be named Pelk, and they are going to be a avowed dragonborn, a female avowed dragonborn. Copper dragon, actually. Pelk is a dragonborn commoner of copper ancestry and a member of the Avowed. Boom. Perfect. And we can just insert that. And we're set. So generally the characters that I'll include in my spreadsheet are going to be characters that are important or have a stat block. If I need to make up characters on the fly, then I'll do that as necessary. But in a lot of cases, I can just focus on the characters that they're actually primarily going to interact with and go from there. So that's usually what I include. Information, this is all old information. I'm just kind of like saving this as a template. So going over our spreadsheet here, like I said, main location, where we are in Faerun, and then if there's a sub room under that. So we are in Candlekeep and we're in the meeting room. Everyone knows what the meeting room is. I always have a list of my player characters and kind of what they're capable of doing. Initiative is not necessary really, unless you're using this. When I first started, I would use this to track initiative and enemies and things like that, which you'll see at a later date, or which you'll see later. So, you know, you can put initiative here, but really what I'm worried about is their passive perception and their AC. This tells me if a character is going to see something that I don't want them to see, or if they do see something that I don't expect them to see, things like that. Passive perception helps me. And then obviously the AC here. And then you can see I break this down: NPCs, creatures, and obstacles, and then treasure and downtime activities down here. So there's a couple of other things that you'll see as we go through different stuff that I can show you. These are going to be sub-locations, places the characters can interact with. If it's in yellow, then it's something that is going to happen to the characters, something that they need to know, and how that works. And then usually in this case, red is an enemy, and yellow can be anything from an ally to something like that. So I try to color code things appropriately depending on the sheet, but it doesn't always work. And then I'll also include like questions and things that they need asked, like reporter questions. I had a reporter interview them, and so I had all these questions listed out just so I would remember. But we're going to essentially build this out as we go and make it work the way we need it to. So we have Pelk, and we have what we need we need to gather what they need to, or include rather, what they're going to be informed on. So essentially, that is what we'll start with. So the robed dragonborn clears her throat and ask them a question. So I don't usually include everything that I'm going to talk to them about, because I can't plan an entire conversation. I don't know what the characters are going to say to them. All I can really do is present them with a character. So that's what we will do. I will have Vizier Og. Let's see. Hyphenated Og will introduce characters to Pelk, and then she will introduce herself, and then we essentially have something like this. So I don't need to type all this out. I can just copy and paste this. And this is what we'll get. So the premise of this story is just this. So Candlekeep usually gets its food supply along the north coast, especially seafood, since they are, right on the ocean. And that is usually provided to them by the Gripply. Gripply are frog-like creatures, a frog folk similar to bullywugs, but more intelligent. And they like to raise and harvest and sell their giant crabs. They have a whole manufacturing business around that. So fish, the giant crabs, their eggs, things of that nature. And for the last few weeks, they've stopped providing as many resources. So obviously that's causing an issue with Candlekeep not receiving enough food. And this person is going to request that the adventurers take a look into it. And so that's essentially what it is. If the most of the time the adventurers are going to say yes. However, if they don't say yes, then you can incentivize them with something, right? Money is always a big motivator. And so the reward for this is going to be something like 500 gold pieces each. So that's a lot of money. It's not too terribly much at like at level 6 or level 7. 500 gold pieces is a quarter of a rare item in some cases. So it is a bit, but you know, it's nothing that's going to break my game. So that's the first thing. And in order to really, in order to get more information, they are given a book. Instead of Balek's journal, it is actually the Book of Cylinders. And yeah, this book was brought to Candlekeep several years ago. If you don't know about Candlekeep Mysteries, it's all based around certain stories. So we're going to give them this book. Essentially, we'll say that Pelk, you know, they were trying to research exactly, you know, what could be interfering with the food shortage or whatever the food supply. And, you know, this is something that they came across. And more or less, the book is going to say something along, it's just a story. The first cylinder, it's a series of cylinders. The first cylinder shows and explains how the Gripply became skilled at harvesting giant crabs, which are loaded into seagoing vessels and taken away while the frog folk celebrate their newly earned wealth. The second cylinder, I should explain that it's called the cylinder because as you can see in the picture, wrong thing. As you can see in the picture here, the book is actually made up of 3 separate cylinders. So they're like this visual medium. So if you put some clay, if you rub this over like clay, it leaves these indentations in the material that essentially tells a story in pictures. So the first cylinder is going to tell of how the Gripply came to be and how they came to learn their skills. The second cylinder is a story about serpent creatures lurking ominously outside the Gripply village. Then the serpent folk rush forth, capturing or killing any of the frog folk who try to stand against them. And then as the village falls into disarray, the giant crabs escape from their cages and head back into the sea. So the serpents attack and their crabs are released. And then the third cylinder depicts and briefly tells about the aftermath of the serpent folk's assault. The village is vacant, most of its buildings flattened. Still standing is the Gripply's temple to their deity, which has been taken over by the snake creatures. And then the whole premise is that rather than this being an ancient story of the Gripply, this is actually a foretelling of events, and the party is, you know, living those events. Also, unbeknownst to the party, and something that I will have to incorporate myself, is that we need it to fit into the major narrative, which in this case is that a plague is spreading across Faerun, and the researchers, the scholars at Candlekeep, are attempting to figure out why and how that plague is spreading. And in this case, the Yuan-ti, or the serpent-like creatures who are attacking the Gripply, are going to be infected with this plague. So wherever they came from is going to be, will have been rather infected by the plague. And so they decided to leave their home and come to this and stumbled upon this Gripply village in order to kind of survive and find a safe haven, find a place to live. And so they just decided to try to attack the Gripply and make this their new home. So the adventurers hopefully will be able to save the Gripply, as well as potentially stop the Yuan-ti from invading and hopefully prevent the spread of the plague from going any further. There will probably be something, it's possible that there might be a hunt of some kind, right? If you allow the other other Wanti to survive or anyone to survive, and they end up spreading the plague, this could cause ramifications down the line. So my party isn't the most merciful. I will probably give them some more. They're in the story. There are some Wanti that aren't necessarily the bad guys, so to speak. Some Wanti are there to either protect some of the weaker Gripply or came beforehand to warn the Gripply. But it's up to the party to decide what they do with that information. That's I think you'd be the only person on the crab's side, Mappa. They are all everyone wants the crabs. So yeah. We all want the crabs. So now that is the premise of the story, and that's where we more or less get started. So we've got the Book of Cylinders. We've got a big story coming up. We can actually insert some more rows here so that I can start building that out. Everything we just included, or I just mentioned, I will include in each individual tab. That way I know everything else. If it's in here, it's something that I primarily want the characters to know. Figuring out the Book of Cylinders is going to be a test of sorts. They're going to have to kind of figure out how the cylinders work, how is the best way to use them, how are they even supposed to read the book itself. Because even though the picture shows that they should be able to just open it, that's really just a ruse, because this is all fake and inside is hollow and it contains these 3 cylinders. So they're going to have to kind of figure out how to use the book, and then they'll be able to get help from either Vazir Og or Pelk in this case in just a moment. So that's another thing that I need to do, is I need to find a image that could be Pelk. And that's not always as easy as you would think it would be. It's not. Sometimes you can find good images and sometimes you just can't. So let's see what we can find. Sometimes it's easier to go with more general descriptions and find something that way. This could work, actually. It's supposed to be a female. That looks very AI generated. I'm not a huge fan of using... Oh. Kind of like you. Sure. Save image as. And then we go to tokens. And this will be Pelk. Pelk portraits. So I usually try to get a portrait of each character, and then I turn them into tokens. So the first thing that we can do is, let's go to a system asset manager rather, and then I have added those 2 things in there, but I don't know what they are added as. So let me see if I can figure out what these are. They're not in my... They don't show up in the assets that I know of, which might be okay. I don't necessarily need them. Over and over again, but we'll see. Beam mounts, they wouldn't... Oh, there they are. They got added to characters. So we can delete one of them. which fingers crossed is, okay, not the one we need. Okay, and then what we'll do here is under allies and NPCs, we will create a new folder called Book of Cylinders. Make that, I don't know, blue for everything else. They should probably always be blue. And then we can drag and drop. What's up, little one? You're fine. You are fine. We're going to go to Pelk really quick. Oh, we do need to create another folder because this one will be called Portraits. There we go. And then we can open up this. And now we go down to Pelk, which we just got. Where are you, Pelk? There you are. Boom. And we can import Pelk as a character, as a portrait. Beautiful. And then what I need to do is make Pelk into a token. So we can use this beautiful token creator, hopefully, if it wants to load. Of course. Why not? It's too easy. Oh, we're getting somewhere. Okay, great. So then I can drag and drop Pelk again into the portrait. I like to use the standard Wizards of the Coast border. It just makes things easier. I will say the only problem that I have with this is that for whatever reason, okay, well now it doesn't. That's good. So if you click on the image, it has a tendency to show the border in the image. But it doesn't seem to be doing that now, which is lovely. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. Since it is a PNG, the whole background is empty, which is good because it's just going to use the standard black space. So that's a lot of hard times. That's hard a lot of times too, is if you're grabbing an image with a background, you have to be careful with that as far as it fitting into the token. But short of that, I mean, I could make this even bigger and just have mostly her head in the image and go from there. So that looks like a good token image. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. We're going to download the token and then we are going to change the name of it because that's no longer the portrait. That's her token. And then we just copy and paste that over to our folder and go from there. So that's the general process. I'm not going to explain that every time because you guys are smart people. I just need to figure out where, oh, I'm dumb. There. And then that can be minimized. And then Pelk gets dragged over. And now she is a character. The default text, if we change this, we can either hide it, make it custom. Unfortunately, the only way that it's either a yes or no thing when it comes to displaying the name. So it's kind of upsetting. I wish it wasn't always that way. I could do it manually, but it's a pain in the butt when that happens. So here we have Pelk. And Pelk will show up right here behind Vazir Og, and then we'll step forward. So we can hide Pelk for now because chances are that won't be something immediately that they have to worry about. In fact, both of these things aren't something that they immediately have to worry about. I'm going to move Kyle back one. Kind of sucks, I guess, that... there we go. That's fine. It just doesn't match up with the table, the grid, which is not really a problem. I'm just being difficult. So... yeah, we essentially have our first real map done, and we will have more to come. So that's how that goes. We need to make sure that our page is good. So each person is going to have some downtime activities. So we can go ahead and clear these for now. Oop, that's what I wanted. And these downtime activities are things that the characters can do while they have time. I don't know why. Seems that Adom doesn't have a block here. No, I had to add Adom. That's right. I haven't done this since I might have just grabbed another one. Because I know that, oh, never mind. Adom, this is the last one I did before Adom was introduced. So he's on this screen as far as included in everything, but he's not listed on the previous ones, which makes sense because he wasn't actually part of the party. Copy. Oh. Sorry, I'm petting a dog at the same time because she's being a big baby. I just pasted the formatting, which is fine because then I can type Adom. And then I want one more. That way it can be in the middle. So we have downtime activities for Adom, Alaric, Evie, Emmy, and then Kyle at the end. There isn't going to be much treasure here at the beginning. We can say that if we insert one here, I can put something like, I don't know, offer of 500 GP each upon completion. That way, this is kind of conditional, but they have it listed. So not something they're going to get immediately, but something that they could be introduced to or offered in the case that they don't really want to accept. Honestly, it's probably something that I'll offer anyway. It's just more motivation. If they don't want to do it out of the goodness of their heart, then they'll do it for money. Coda Bear, are you serious? I'm not going out there with you. I'm not going to. I'll go open the door for you. What is being a jerk? She just wants to explore. She's being a big old baby. I went to open the door for her, and then she started to walk out and then realized I wasn't going out with her and tried to come right back inside. Like, no, you're not going to beg me to go out and then not go out. Okay. So, yeah, another character that might be important, and I don't know if I'll introduce them on this or on this slide or on this screen or another. There is another character that they might need, and it is Miter Jans. He is a ship captain, and he is the one that usually he is the one that sails essentially from Candlekeep to the Gripply village and back. He does other things, but that's his primary route, is ship captain who makes his living transporting crab meat to Candlekeep. So he goes up and down the coast, he grabs it from the Gripplies, and things like that. Pelk also reveals that John's, eager for shipments to resume, has volunteered to take the adventurers by sea to a trading post where they can meet the Gripply leader in exile if they decide to undertake the quest to help the frog folk. So that's essentially how they'll get there. And how I introduce them, I'm not sure yet. It might be something as that, but we do need to find a ship captain and go from there. So let's find something that looks like he could be a ship captain. He doesn't actually have a... Okay, he's a bandit captain. That is his stat block, bandit captain. So I could probably just take that and go from there. I was just about to ask what his stat block would be. Let's see. Miter. Oh, he's a neutral good half orc. So let's see. Half orc ship captain. See what I got here. Okay. Let's see. I can, oh, this is off of Imager. There you are. I wish sometimes these individuals would include their like signature or a title or something so that they're already given credit. But in this case, they have not. Miter, Jans, and then we'll go portrait here. And I'm going to have to find a way to credit them. Okay, let's take this into Photoshop so that I can give them the credit that they deserve. Because otherwise, it just feels like stealing, you know? And that's no fun. Open. These are all emotes that I make for certain things, so pay no attention to those. Let's see. Who am I looking for? Miter. Miter. There we go. We'll open this. That's what that will look like. And then I need to find... Okay, this person 7 years ago, Captain Weather. So I need to add a text box down here. Actually, I don't even know how to type in this thing. There we go. And then art by, let's see. We'll just go Captain Weather via Reddit. And then delete all of that in the back. And I will move this to where it fits. Or, okay, let's Control A all of this. We can take it to 150. There we go. And then take all of it again and change it to, I don't know, probably just a straight black. Love it. Click OK. And then now we can move it back into the corner here. Maybe I can put it in the top where it doesn't blend in as well. Perfect. Love it. Okay, and now I can save this, or rather I could do a quick export. Quick export as PNG. We take that straight back into tokens. We save it and wait for it to be done. Are you done? Looks done. Okay, great. And then I probably have to close it. I did realize that the bad part about this here is that I might have issues with the token. We'll figure it out. If I have those issues, then will change. We can move that around. Okay, so we want to clear the workspace here. Need to pull up. Where are you? Okay, I can delete. Well, I won't delete either of them for the moment. Drag and drop this over here. Change the border to traditional. Make you big. Go down here. Looks like I'm not going to have an issue at all. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Download. Change the name. Save it. Move it. Import it. Forget I don't need to do anything after that. Okay, and then asset manager, you can open up portraits and move. Let's delete this one because I don't need 2 copies. This will go into portraits. Okay, and then this one will just go straight into tokens. And boom, you got it. So that's taken care of. Love it. That can go away. That can stay. That can stay for now. Okay. So there is going to be a sea voyage. I could probably find a image of a ship, but honestly, I don't know if it's even necessary. Miter Jans is a pretty qualified, knowledgeable captain. He has actually written a book on fish anatomy, and he is one of the primary leading experts of the Sahuagin biology. So he has, in his book, he has an entire, like, if you've seen scientific journals or scientific workups and like biology books and anatomy books, he's got an entire workup of that, which is pretty cool. It is possible for them to take an overland voyage, but it's going to be a lot harder. So we kind of need to prepare for both. So not the end of the world here. We've got scenes, we've got the Sword Coast here. So the plan should be, if they're smart, what they'll do is they will take a ship from here at the Candlekeep up towards like this region here. If my thing will load. This map is big, so sometimes Owlbear has issues with it. But anyway, you can most likely see they will take a ship from Candlekeep up towards the Cloakwood. And these islands here, essentially, there's islands, or there's a place. We can even do something like here, which would probably make equal amount of sense. I don't know. But it's supposed to be west of the Cloakwood, because part of the Gripply village is on the coast here, and then some of the old village is actually inside or very close to the Cloakwood. So they can either go up by ship, or they can go out the Lion's Way and go north on the coastway and then travel west through the Cloakwood. So it's possible that you can either do this front to back or back to front. It doesn't really matter. But there's maybe some reasons why they would want to do that. Maybe they don't trust the captain. If they don't trust the captain, why would they want to get on a ship with him? But yeah, it's if you take the ship, it's about 36 hours. It takes a day and a half to sail from Candlekeep around the coast up here somewhere, right? It is the faster of the routes, and they won't encounter any enemies, no resistance whatsoever. They just get from point A to point B, which is great. If they decide to take the overland approach and go into the Cloakwood this way, it's about 7 days. It takes them, it's 100 miles in total, and it's a lot. So I think it says 7 days. If their characters decline the sea voyage, they can consult a map at Candlekeep that shows the safest and fastest overland route, starting with the Way of the Lion, the road that leads inland east, which is what I just mentioned, the Lion's Way, the Way of the Lion. That road intersects with the Coastway, which I mentioned, which runs north along the eastern edge of the Cloakwood. About 50 miles north along the Coastway, so sure, is a trail that runs west into the forest and eventually leads to the outskirts of the Gripley village. This route, well over 100 miles in total, takes at least 7 days to traverse by foot, and at the end of it, the characters will be entering the village before they visit the trading post. Both of those facts might have marked effect on how the adventure continues. In addition, you might pit the creatures up against some random counters. So that's up to me, but if they're taking the overland route and it's going to take them 7 days, then a lot can happen in 7 days, right? So they might encounter a caravan on the coastway that they get stuck behind, or they might encounter bandits. They could encounter wild creatures in the Cloakwood, right? I mean, it's a good chance that they're going to be fighting some things in the Cloakwood. So all kinds of stuff. So that's probably something we need to potentially prepare for. But knowing my party, they're probably not going to do anything too crazy. So we won't have to go whole hog here. So let us get some of that going. We will go ahead and copy this. We're going to create a copy. We're going to put it before the Firefly Cellar, and we're going to call this, rename this to Coastway probably. And we'll do this optional so that we know that there's a good chance we might not even use this. But it's a possibility. So now that we have this built out, this one will change to Faerun. This one will change to Coastway / oh, what was the name of the wood? I forget. Cloakwood. Okay. And then our characters are still level 6. All this still applies, which is good. So I don't have to change that. But these are all very, very different. So what's an encounter that they could have along the coastway? They could... I don't know. I've done a lot of different things like this. They've traveled quite a bit. Let me see. So here's some resources. I have tons of stuff that I use, right? That you can see here. It's just various stuff, and one of them is travel encounters for D&D. So I can pull up something like this, and then I think there's 100 of them, right? So I can just go to Owlbear, I can go to dice, and I can roll. Oh, it's going to roll 3. Okay, if I just click this, it rolls it for me. So these are D100s, opportunistic frog crab traders. Well, that would defeat the purpose, right? If they're already meeting them ahead of time. I legitimately rolled a 3. So we'll check the, not this, we'll check this. What is 3 on the list? Let's see if it makes sense or if we can adjust it, right? Local farmers are busy in their fields, but are hospitable and will share their food and water with the players, perhaps sharing local news or the lay of the land, which could be invaluable for navigation. So maybe we do this, or maybe we put some local farmers in their path. So we'll go ahead and take this, and we'll change this for information, right? And then we can just do that. These are going to turn into farmers. We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. And then let us do this. D&D, do farmers. Perfect. I would like to take a couple of farmers just to have them. I might actually have a whole thing of, let's see, sometimes I will keep files of tokens. Not looking good. It's another token stamp, another token creator. I don't see anything. So we're gonna have to find some farmers. Okay, we will take this image because it's a nice looking image. Why is it never... I hate taking art that I can't credit. What am I... Doesn't even tell me what this art is or where it came from. I guess I could reverse Google search it. So let me copy the image and then we'll go to Google really quick. Here, I'll do it up here so you guys can see what I'm actually doing. Not Google Fiber. Just Google. And then search by image. And then... let's see, can I copy the image address? I can. Paste the image link, we search it, it should pull it up. There it is. And ideally, it's gonna find it for us. So this is the image we're looking for. So it looks like this is the only image. So I don't know where this guy got this image, but it's the only one that exists here. So maybe he drew it himself. It just says Trent. Posts by Trent. Well, that doesn't help me, does it? How am I supposed to credit someone named Trent? English teacher, actor, and active participant in multiple D&D campaigns. He enjoys generating ridiculous ideas for stories and games. That's great and all. Maybe it's AI generated? I don't know. It doesn't look AI generated. I mean, his hands look okay. 1, 2, okay, maybe not. Maybe it, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 5 fingers. These buckles are weird. I mean, I guess it could be, yeah, maybe it is AI generated. It's very good if it's AI generated. Just fine, I suppose. Okay. Well, collar is strange. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. It's some kind of bandana. So definitely AI generated, which is a bummer. But we can find something else. Let me... Here. I should probably do this too. Anything that can be shown, I should probably just show it. So these are kind of what we're looking for. I like this image, although it does have a background, which would have been kind of difficult to deal with, possibly. We could do something like this. This is just Edmund Croft. And this actually has someone attributed, Pucky 21. So perfect. We take this, we save the image as whatever his name is. I don't even care. Edmund Croft. That sounds great to me. Edmund Croft. And then we make that the portrait. That way I'm not even changing the guy's name. Okay. Download complete. And then we need to open this. We can close this one. No. And then open. We find Edmund here. Good old Edmund. Perfect. We're going to add another text box. And then we do the same thing. We need art by, and then whatever I just found. Not you. You? No. Bum, bum, bum. Go back. Pucky. Pucky 21 via Reddit. Via Reddit. perfect. Is it perfect? No. But if somebody wants to know what the art is or where it's from, they can find it. And then I think that was 200. We just did 150 the last time, didn't we? I think 150. There we go. And we shove it up in the corner so it can be seen. And there we go. So now I can do the same thing. I can quick export this as a PNG back into my folder. Love it. Minimize. And then we go token maker. And we do this all over again. You guys know the drill by now. You guys know the drill. If I can find it. Delete the one that isn't our PNG file. Border. Make bigger. Boom. Love it. Download token. Change the name. And we are good to go. Okay. Now we need to load those. So everything needs to be loaded so we can make sure that we have them. These aren't characters. These are actually going to be more like props. So I need to move those into props. And then we can create a folder for that. Oh, this button. Book of cylinders. Just make it black as well because it's fine. Add, and then these things go in that. And then we need another folder for all this extra stuff that I don't need anymore. This was what? All three of these were Candlekeep murders. So I'm going to just go K or CKM, Candlekeep murders. And then we can dump all this stuff in here because these aren't things that I need regularly. Okay, perfect. And then characters, allies and NPCs, book of cylinders. First we'll go portraits and drag a good old Edmund in here. And then we can go back and draw the token. Import, please. And there we go. So 3 characters created, 3 images, we know of them. And now we need to make sure that they're added here. So rather than Orin Glass, these 2 can probably just be completely removed and deleted. No big deal. This one is going to be our Edmund Cruft, though. And we'll just take the description from Reddit, from the person who created it. So I can minimize this, close Google Lenses for now. And we just take this. I don't think I need all of this, but there we go. We'll just do this. That way the guy is credited and it all makes sense. It says art and his character. So yeah, maybe on their road, they will find some farmers working on the side, and it looks like their boss is Edmund Cruft. If they take the time to talk to them, or maybe at the same time, maybe they're maybe not only they're farmers, maybe they're shepherds, right? And so maybe their sheep get loose and they're running across the fields. That's even better. Local farmers are busy herding loosed sheep, right? So there's that. If the party offer their help, They will share food and water with the players, and perhaps sharing local news or the lay of the land, which could be invaluable information. Misspelled herd. I think loose could be used as well. I mean, no, I don't. I'll take loose, I guess. If the party offers their help, that's fine. Okay, beautiful. And then let's see. If they don't help, then nothing comes of it, right? Then they just keep on with their trip. But we need to offer them something valuable if they do help. And so maybe the information that they gather, maybe we do something like this rather than this being blue and information, or blue and that looks terrible. That doesn't look great either. Why does it seem so dark? Is it always dark? There we go. There we go. This will be an event, right? And then this is the information that they'll receive. So maybe they hear rumors of serpent, of like serpent man hybrids in the forests nearby, right? This might be something that can maybe assist them. Maybe then they'll go into the forest a little more wary. Maybe this is something that prevents them from being ambushed, right? Maybe when they enter the forest, they'll be on their guard kind of thing, rather than just going into it blindly. So this might help. Is it great? No, but honestly, this isn't going to take much time, right? This is a role-playing opportunity. So am I worried about the reward being incredible? Not really at all. I'm just worried about them getting something for it, right? So they decide to go down, if, and this again, this is all optional. This might never happen. But I can use this event later, right? If they never see this, if the party never knew this existed, then I can reuse it later. So it's not like a waste of time to create it now. It just might not be used in this particular chapter. But gives them something to do, breaks up some of the monotony, which is good. So then I need to go ahead and insert a couple more because they need to do something else. So this is when they're on the coastway. So what happens when they get to the forest? All right, what kind of forest creatures are we thinking about? They could be attacked by... Well, let's see. Let's actually look up the lore of the forest that they're going to be in, right? So this is the Cloakwood. So we can minimize this, and we go D&D. We can go all here. And we go Cloakwood. And let's see what kind of lore we've got for the Cloakwood. Okay. So Cloakwood, also stylized as Cloakwood, so one or two words, it doesn't matter, was an ancient, thickly grown forest in the Western Heartlands region on the south end of the Sword Coast. Okay, which we kind of know that. It's just north of Candlekeep. Races that live there are Fae and a number of wild beasts, so that doesn't really tell me too much. There are some Fae there, which is interesting. Cloakwood was known to be full of beasts, monsters, and vicious Fae, causing most folks to avoid the forest. These creatures included giant spiders, corrids, camfolts, quicklings, satyrs, sturges, and other uncommon creatures. Trees that grew within this forest included hangman trees, beeches, elms, fulsel, and hiexel. So that's actually incredibly useful for us, right? When we were describing the Cloakwood, we can describe the trees, right? If I wanted to look into these, I could really do so. They're hangman trees, gallow trees, right? I just completely lost that. Edmund can go away for right now. Beeches, elms, felsel, and hiexel, right? And so I can explain, like describe exactly what the trees do or what they look like, which is super awesome. Super good things to do. It helps them to do. Like, I don't even know what a hiexel tree is. Hiexel trees usually grow about 30 feet tall. They had sparse branches that curved to make an overall oval shape. They had silver green bark, and wood itself was green. Okay, so That's good. If I wanted to, I could even do something like, we definitely need to go here and do this. But I could find images, right? What's an image of the cloakwood? I could pull this image up. And so maybe we do that. I mean, we're going to need an image of the cloakwood regardless. So let's do this. This is actually from the wiki, so that's good. We can click on this. And then this was added by Aravekel. That doesn't really help me much. We are going to copy the image address, and we're going to do the same thing we did before, Google Lens. And then we can, yeah, thank you. Okay, really? Let's go to google.com. There we go. There we go. And then it was added by someone, but I mean, all of these look extremely similar, don't they? But it looks like that's the only one that actually exists. So it was added by someone, but I'm not sure who. Well, I'm not sure who they are. But I mean, that'll do, right? Looks like that's the only one that matches. So, okay. Then we have this image. So we'll save the image as, this doesn't need to be in tokens. It needs to be just in Candlekeep mysteries, because it'll be a map. And then we can just name this Cloakwood. What's it listed like on my map? I guess that's probably important. But for right now, it won't be. WebBP file, or WebP. And then I need this. So we'll open up. That can go away. No, open. I need to find it. It should be under C, Cloakwood. There it is. Cloakwood. Perfect. And then add text. Probably the best place to add it would be up here. And then we delete that and we go art by whatever, however you spell this name. Who are you? Okay. So they're an admin here. Doesn't really say they're an artist, but I'd rather credit someone than no one. That makes sense. Art by that person via, and the website is Forgotten Realms Wiki. Forgotten Realms Wiki. Boom. And then just pop that up the top real quick. We can put that down here. I can make this smaller and brighter, can't I? Probably for the best. If I did something like, I don't know, a 12-point font would make it smaller, but if I made it like bright red, I feel like that is less obtrusive. It's obvious, but it's not in the way, right? I don't want it to be ignored necessarily, but okay. Then I can save as, I don't want to save it as a Photoshop project. So we just export it as a PNG again. It goes into Cloakwood. I saved that to the wrong place. That is a bummer. That's okay. I can come up here and move it. Control X. Control V. Okay, beautiful. And now it's where it needs to be. That can go away. This can get closed. Oh, I don't. I'm sorry. I meant no. Okay, that can go away. That can go away. And then bring it to Owlbear over here. We go to maps. we want to add multiple folders because this is a mess. Man, how did I let this get out of hand? Oh, probably because I stopped using maps and started using scenes. I don't think it really matters. Okay, we want to take the cloakwood here, boop, import as a scene. It definitely needs to be bigger than what it is. It says it's 6.67 by 5. That is super small, especially if we're going to be fighting on it. So let's make this something like, I mean, it's a 3-to-1. So, I mean, if we did something like 30 columns here, it should blow it up. There we go. 22 there. That way, if we do it while we're going to use this for fighting. I need to plan some things out. Okay. So let us pull up the cloakwood now. And this is our scene. Beautiful. All right. And then let's see. What kind of creatures did it say? We got giant spiders, chorids, camfolts, quicklings, satyrs, sturges, and other uncommon creatures. So we have five level 6 party members. So in order to create some kind of encounter that they're going to find challenging, we need to take their CRs or their challenge ratings into account. So let's try to look some of this up. It's the easiest way to do that and show it to you. If I could just, I have a monster manual. I have all these books. So it feels a little silly. I'll try to show you what I can. Let's just, I'm going to open this. I'm not going to show you everything here, but we're just going to use the bestiary and hopefully not get anybody in trouble. What we really need to do is start looking for these. So giant spiders, or just spider, it's a CR of 1. So if we were to use an encounter builder, we have 5 players who are level 6. We can remove these. This was for the last encounter that I was building out, right? So if I add, let's see how many giant spiders it would take in order to make it even a hard encounter for them. 9. They would have to fight 9 giant spiders. So probably not something that I really want to deal with. Yeah. Chorids. I don't even know what a chorid is, if I'm being honest with you. Oh, they're Fey. That's CR 7. Oh my goodness. I mean, that could probably be fun. Actually, it's just 1. 1 is easy, but 2 is deadly. So we could do a chorid. Let me see if I can find a chorid, or we can see what a chorid is like. Ah, okay. Look at that thing. Creepy. Chorids are unpredictable, secretive fae with strong ties to earth and stone. Because of their magical hair and their mystical understanding of minerals, they are sought after by treasure hunters, dwarves, and others that desire wealth beneath the earth. Earthy fae. Chorids prefer to keep their own company and occasionally consort with creatures of elemental earth, such as Galebdur. A tribe of chorids gathers weekly to perform ceremonial dances, beating out rhythms on stone with their hooves and clubs. They have hooves, apparently. Oh, so they do. Okay. In the depths of the material plane, chorids typically flee from other creatures, but become aggressive when they feel insulted or are annoyed by the sounds of mining. Chorids can hurl boulders far larger than it seems they should be able to, shape stone as though they were clay, swim through rock, and summon earth elementals and other creatures. They also gain... Okay, so they can summon. So this might be something. They also gain supernatural strength just from standing on the ground. There's a legend about a merchant who tried to cut a chorid's hair with golden shears. The chorid fed him those shears from his swallow to his sitter. That's Volo. Volo's a giant who shares information. This is Volo's guide to monsters. No one knows the ways of stone and earth better than a Korid. Korids can seemingly smell the veins of metal or gems. A Korid on the surface can feel the rise and fall of bedrock under the earth and where caves lie. And underground it knows pathways through the stone for miles. Interesting. Enchanted hair. Korids have hair all over their bodies, but the hair that grows from their heads is magical. When cut, it transforms into whatever material was used to cut it. Korids use iron shears to cut links of their hair, then weave the strands together to create iron ropes that they can manipulate, animating them to bind or snake around creatures and objects. Korids take great pride in their hair, and equally great offense at any who attempt to cut it without permission. Interesting. That could be fun. Let's see. So armor class is 17, hit points 102. Damage resistances, although it's non-magical, so all of my characters have magical weapons, so that doesn't actually matter. They speak several languages. The Korid has at least one 50-foot long rope woven out of its hair. As a bonus action, the Korid commands one such creature, or one such rope within 30 feet of it, to move up to 20 feet and entangle a large or smaller creature that the Korid can see. The target must succeed on a DC 13 saving throw. This is once per turn. That's pretty crazy. Or as a bonus action. DC 13 dexterity saving throw or become grappled. Until the grapple ends, the target is restrained. The Korid can use a bonus action to release the target, which is also freed if the Korid dies or becomes incapacitated. A rope of Korid hair has AC 20 and 20 hit points. It regains 1 hit point at the start of each of the Korid's turns, while it has at least 1 hit point and the Korid is alive. Nice. If the rope drops to 0 hit points, it is destroyed. It has some innate spell casting. Commune with nature, meld into stone shape, and then conjure elemental as a 6th level spell. Galabdur? I don't even know what that is. Oh no, these are the ones that can summon. So we have a Galabdur, which I again don't know what that is. Gargoyle, Earth Elemental, or Zorn. I don't know what a Zorn is either. Galabdur. Let's find out together, shall we? Okay, so it looks like just a rock elemental. Just a type of boulder-like creature with stumpy appendages that act as arms and legs. Okay. So let's see. And then a Zorn is that. This has a challenge rating of 5. A Zorn. Bizarre creatures native to the elemental plane of Earth. Zorns sniff out gemstones and precious metals, then tunnel through earth and rock to consume those treasures. So I wonder if we encounter Builder, right? Does this take into account what it can summon? So what if I summoned a Galabdur as well, or had them summon it? That's deadly. Okay, and then a Zorn would probably be the same thing. Zorn. Big Zorn. That's also deadly. Okay, what if I had it summon not one of those things? Like an Earth... Gargoyle is only CR 2. Earth Elemental is 5. So what if I did something like Gargoyle? Encounter Builder, Gargoyle. Hard. Okay, so that might be reasonable. There is something that I wanted to try really quick. I don't remember whether I saw it on Reddit or on TikTok. There was a new... Let's see, saved. There's that. There's that. Maybe it wasn't this. Yeah, the last thing I saved was months ago. So maybe it was on TikTok. Let me mute TikTok really quick so nobody gets blasted with that. Profile. Bookmarked. Okay, it was this video. It's called Battle Sim. Maybe. Okay, come on. Battle Sim. So let me pull this up. See what I can do with Battle Sim. Fingers crossed this works. Okay, add player character. So these are the characters that we have. We have a cleric. We have a druid. Oh, I gotta do this all at once. Cleric level 6. Okay. And then I also have a druid level 6. And then I have a monk level 6. And a ranger level 6. Oh, okay. Use sharpshooter. Weapon is a +1. I didn't do any of these. Didn't see it. Oh, goodness. Okay. I'll just click OK. I guess. Yeah, I guess it's accounting for magic here, and for the rangers, just accounting for their. This does not have sharpshooter. My rogue does not have sharpshooter, but they do have a +1 weapon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay. Love it for us. We need to add an enemy. The first enemy we're going to add is a Corrid. Let's see, Corrid. There we go. Click OK. This is expected to last 1 round. Okay. Let's see. My players can't be surprised because of my rogue. So it's not really an issue. Let's see about the Galib-Dur. If we take that and we go Galib-Dur. Okay. It's supposed to last the same amount of time. And no one actually here is supposed to take damage. So this essentially simulates a battle, right? Around 1, your cleric uses Spirit Guardians and spiritual weapon is a bonus action. It can't do both of those. I can't do both of those. I don't know. Wild Shape has a giant constrictor snake on itself, and then constrict the Corrid. Yeah. Flurry of Blows ×2, Quarterstaff ×2, Stunning Strike on Corrid ×2, and just stuns the Corrid. Hand Crossbow ×2. It doesn't have a ranger, so that's fine. And then this doesn't have hand crossbows either, but still it's simulating these things. I can change this just to see. Actions. This is fine. Oh, I could actually include all of this, which is kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Let's see. It does have uncanny dodge, sneak attack. This does not. It does not have. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I guess I could mess with all of this. This is kind of crazy. This is really cool, not gonna lie, but it's a little bit more in depth than I thought it would originally be. But you can see that this is saying that this is going to last like 3 rounds, essentially. So let us build some more characters. Let's build some more things. So what else could these things have? What's a Campholt? Campholt. Did I spell that wrong? It is C-A-M-P. Okay, that's what I thought the first time. It's not showing up, which is weird. Oh, Campfolts aren't in 5e. They're a 1e exclusive creature. Interesting. Okay. Fun. Quicklings. That would explain why they're not in the 5e book, why I can't find them. Quicklings are challenge rating 1 creatures. Rocket through twisted forests where the unseelie Fae hold sway, both in the Feywild and in the world. These slender Fae resemble miniature elves with feral features and cold eyes that gleam like jewels. Racing faster than the attack can track, they appear a little more than blurry waverings in the air. Okay, but what are they? They are chaotic evil. Okay. Satyrs, Sturges. I know what Sturges are. Satyrs, I don't see why they would fight alongside. I don't know why they would fight alongside the Corrid. Sturges might be annoying enough. They're really weak, though. I'm trying to make this more challenging. I'm trying to give them less enemies, just in general, so that combat doesn't take forever. How many Sturges do I have to add before it starts being ridiculous? Okay, we're showing that this is still only taking like 3 turns. So I wish there was a way that I could add multiple of these. Oh, I can't just count 1. I mean, you can see that it really doesn't even matter. And I think it's because it's assuming the Spirit Guardians, which makes a lot of sense, I suppose. That's the big problem with using something like lots of creatures, is that, or lots of little creatures, is that Spirit Guardians is going to take them all out. So we could try something like a Quickling. I don't know. Why would it matter? What do they need to... Okay. Still 3 rounds. Still 3 rounds. Still 3 rounds. It's because they have so little HP. I mean, I don't know. What happens if I do this? And then this? This is what's simulating. So 2 Corrids, 2 Galabdors. Maybe we do 1 Galabdor and 1 Zorn. Just to keep things interesting. I mean, this is looking a little bit better. At least it's challenging. At least they're having to use resources. So 4 turns, 2 Corrids, a Galabdor, and a Zorn will essentially play out like this. Okay. We'll take this. I think this is acceptable. I'll have to go in and mess with this. This seems fun, as far as like how these work out. I don't know. We'll test it. We'll see how this one works, and if it works, or if it makes sense, if it like this, you know, if it works out this way, then we'll mess around with it some more. Okay, so going back to where we were. Goodness, seems like so long ago, doesn't it? I don't care about the Quickling. This can go back to stat blocks. That can close. We need Corrid, Galabdur, and a Zorn. Okay, and then we'll essentially do the same thing that we were doing before. I don't need Giant Spider either. Oh, that's just the bestiary. That's fine. That can go away. Perfect. Okay, so we're in our forest. We need to pull up characters, pull up monsters. We go to, oh, sorry, add folder, book of cylinders. Make that red because they're monsters. Okay. And then I'm trying to think. We can do the same thing. We can do like portraits as well. And do big pictures if we have them. There we go. Everything else will just stay the same. So what do I need? I need the Corrid image to be saved. Tokens, Corrid, portraits, capitalized, please, because I'm anal like that. All right, we love that. And then I can just save this. Save image as Corrid. Perfect. Galabdur. Save this image as Galabdur portrait. Just copy and paste that. Save it. Close it. That's fine. And then we have a Zorn. And then boop, boop, boop. Zorn. Okay, perfect. And now we can go back into Owlbear. We can import the portraits first. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for my Galab Zor alphabetically should be first. Or Galabdur. Oh, I imported the wrong thing. Delete it. These are portraits, right? I think. There's that. And then the next thing would be the Corrid. Boom. And then the last one would be the Zorn. Boom. Import all three of those. And all three of these can be pulled out really quick. Boop, boop. And then we'll go back into manager, monsters, book of cylinders. And then we just bring all these in again. I probably could have done this a little bit easier. We'll learn for next time. We can probably import them all at the same time and then just sort them into folders as necessary. That'd be the smart thing to do. Okay, we import those. Should probably label this like 1. Always at the front, right? Should probably do that with all my folders. These things are just various stuff. I've used them in various locations. I probably need to sort them a little bit better, but we'll figure it out as we go. So book of cylinders, we can drag all of these out. Close portraits. Boom. 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 Okay. Love it. So let's see. 2 Corrids. No items in the clipboard. There you go. 2 Corrids. Summon a Galabdur and a Zorm. And then we fight the party. Close monsters, party tokens. We can move that out. These guys are all walking through the forest. Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest. Okay, beautiful. Love it. Nope. Is this not already locked? Should be locked. It is locked. So I thought. Attach you to Alaric and we're good to go. Okay. So yeah, there's that. And then these can be hidden for the time being. And then we'll make things up as we go. Okay, so now we have a full-on encounter for the Cloakwood. If that so happens. We can either make use of it now, or if none of this happens again, I can still use this as an encounter later, right? So some wasted time, some not so wasted time. But that's just kind of how it goes. But yeah. That's our Cloakwood encounter. So we can include this here. So what we want to do is enemies, we'll call, well, we'll just bring them in for what they are. Also, I messed this completely up. This is a bummer. We actually want to... Well, this is a bummer because I've been auto-saving this under a different thing. Actually, I want to save this as, like, this is actually book 7, I think. Book of Cylinders. This is sad. This is a rookie mistake. Okay. My concern now is that if I go and do... If I reopen this... Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Okay. Version history. Can I... Perfect. Go all the way back to this. Got it. Can exit this. This is what I want. So I don't want to restore this. I want this to be... Maybe something went wrong. Save as this. Save. Yeah. Cannot. It's open another workbook. I know. I have it open. This is the one I want. Please allow me to... There we go. Okay, now we're back to where I was before. So that's the old one. Now we have this one, Book of Cylinders. Perfect. Okay, crisis averted. Uh-oh. Oh, is that a bot? Yeah, probably. Thanks, bot. Probably wanting me to buy cheap viewers or something like this. Okay, so where were we? We were doing this. So let's minimize this. Sorry, that was a little bit of a detour. We got Corrid number 1. I need to insert one more line. Okay, and then we can drag this down. And then I have the Galib Newer and the Zorn. Perfect. And now we could roll initiative here. I'm going to pull up their stat blocks and see what I have here. Their initiative would be +2 for these. So +2, +2, and +0. So I don't really need to roll for this. We just do +2, 2, 0. Oh, Control Z, whatever the heck just happened. 0, 0. Passive perception. This is in case the creatures are in case my party is sneaking. If they're sneaking, then this will matter. And it's looking like 15 for both of these. The passive perception of the others won't matter, mostly because they're going to be summoned creatures. So, yeah. AC is 17, 16, 19. So 17, 17, 16, 19. HP, I really have to do one of these because I can just copy and paste it all down. So let's see. 102, 85, 73. So 102, 75, 83. The resource is where I pull the information from. So this is from VGM page 168. And then experience points I don't track because it doesn't matter. Monster Manual 139 and 304. There we go. And then these two we can just copy and paste down. That's fine. This can be 102 again. And then, yeah. So if there's any notes like this, I would put summoned, right? These would both be summoned creatures. And then we go from there. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. And it looks like they make 2 attacks with their Great Club and hurl 2 rocks. So 4 hits at the same time. That's kind of fun. If I had to play this out, if I had to assume what was going to happen, I could use Battle Sim, I suppose. This will tell me what it wants to do. Bite and Claw, Great Club, Great Club. I mean, I could probably do something like... They would probably want to hide, right? They would probably want to use their Galabdur and their Zorn to tank. And then the Chords back here would probably be hiding and then using their multi-attack. They have stealth check options. While on the ground, the Chord deals 2 extra dice of damage with any weapon attack. Okay, so maybe not. Maybe they would just... Oh, this is already included. If the Chord is on the ground. That's disgusting. Okay. So maybe they would just swing for the hills. They would use their hair to restrain as a bonus action and then just hit 4 times. But they would probably start by throwing rocks, I would imagine. And use the use the Zorn and the Galabdur to fight. So that's probably how we would run this fight. None of this matters anymore. This doesn't exist. And treasure and downtime activities, all this could kind of just go away. If we wanted to, we could include some kind of treasure here. I don't know what. Maybe they were there. So we know this Chords are very good at smelling veins of metal or gems. So maybe they can find a couple of nuggets of some kind of material, right? We could do like silver. What is the cost of silver? Item silver. 5 GP for a pound. That doesn't seem like a lot, does it? I mean, we could do something like gold. It's about 50 gold pieces per pound. This might be worth it. And what I mean by worth it, right? Like, the encounter should be somewhat hard, but they also are going to have to take time. Maybe they mark it on their map, maybe they decide not to worry about it right now, but it'll have to be something that they're mined for, right? So maybe the Chorids were arguing, maybe they found a vein of gold that ran through the Cloakwood, and they were both kind of fighting over it. And so the party maybe didn't sneak up on them, but that's why they were distracted. That's where they were there. And then we go that route. And so the Chorids would attack because of the vein. They'd won it for themselves, right? And then the party, would defend themselves, and then they'd have to decide what they wanted to do with it. Perfect. We love it. So treasure and downtime activities, we're going to say vein of gold. And then we can make this, I don't know, 5 pounds equals 250 gold. But it would take maybe 1 hour per pound to excavate, right? Because they have to be careful. They're not miners. They don't know what they're doing. Maybe I could let them roll for it. Roll for increased speed and risk, or at risk. At risk. Maybe they damage the stuff. And that's not necessarily realistic because gold is gold. It can be melted, but if they want to speed up the process, essentially, they'll have to find a way to do it without, damaging anything around it. Something like that. And maybe it's not necessarily a risk to the gold. Maybe it's a risk to themselves, right? So if they do it fast, maybe they'll attract more attention to themselves. Maybe they'll have to fight something else. Who knows? Which is another fight, another thing that we have to come up with, but we can manage that if we need to cross that bridge. Again, all of this may not even happen. This may be completely useless. It could be something that I could do on the way out. And it could be something that we do later. It could be something I do not at all, but at least now I have this planned where if they do end up coming this way, then at least we'll have something. This is also going to be helpful. Sure. Okay, there we go. All right. So there's that. Perfect. Okay, potential encounter number 1 down, which is good. Let's see. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to focus less on this part of it. Now that you've kind of seen what I do, I can go back and do it all. I'm going to focus more on getting the resources on the board. Whatever resources I need onto Owlbear. So for the next however long that takes, that's what we'll be doing. And I'll figure it out as we go along. So all this stuff can go away now. Battle Sim might still be important for us. These are all trees that I don't really care about. Don't necessarily care about the Cloakwood anymore, but it'd be nice to have up for later, I guess. Don't need that. I might still need some tokens, but I highly doubt it. But we'll keep it up just in case. So that can go away. Also, I do want to know, maybe I'm using something wrong. I want to know what the difference is between a scene and a map, right? Like, what's the difference? A map is a single image in library. A map will also have information about how it should be positioned and resized to fit the grid of a scene. In Owlbear Rodeo, maps are saved outside a scene. This means a single map can be used across multiple scenes. Okay. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but Like, why do I need one over the other? Most common workflow when using Albert Rodeo is to have a single map for each scene you create. Right. To make the scenario as easy as possible, Albert allows you to create a new scene with a map in a single action. Okay, so this is just like... I got it. It's fine. If I wanted to use the map here, so I've mentioned this before, but I use the meeting room several times. So it sounds like I could upload a map. Like if I just, which I already have, the meeting room is here. So if I just upload this meeting room, I can create multiple scenes using the same map, which is fine. Not necessary, but fine. I just usually adjust the map as needed, but we'll go from there. So I have a Cloakwood scene. The next scene that we would need is going to be an image of the crab maze. So we're going to save this image as the crab maze. It is not going to go in tokens. It's going to go in the majority file or the big file. And then this can be brought over. So this is essentially just going to be a image as they approach the village for the first time. They're going to be coming up on the village, coming up on the town where the Grippleys are supposed to live, and they're going to be met with this scene. Also, I would like to point out that crab looks absolutely huge. How big is a giant crab? Oh, not crab. Sorry, crab. This is a huge giant crab. It's 8. It's just medium. This is at least huge. Which makes me wonder, are they... Oh no, they're just giant crabs. They're just medium beasts. Maybe we throw in a huge giant crab for fun, right? Because that doesn't look medium to me. That looks gigantic. So it looks like we're going to have both giant crabs and huge giant crabs here. Okay. So the first thing they're going to have to do is navigate something like this. I should give them... They'll need this map as well. So let us add another map here. This is going to be the Gripply Village. Not you. You. Boom. That still seems pretty small, but 1 square equals 100 feet. So, and this is all kind of out of whack, which is upsetting to me. So, let me see what I can do. I don't always remember the best way to do this. Scale is 1:1. DPI is fine. It does need to be 1:1, I think. Okay, let me see. All right, this moves the whole thing. It's not what I want to do at all. Okay, and this is what I want to do. I need to try to make each square equal to its own. It seems like this is cut off too, which is kind of upsetting. So maybe we do something like this. Maybe I line up this, and maybe I make this square the base rather than the other, like the cutoff squares. And then this will allow me to do something like, there we go. Is it perfect? No, but it's better than it was. Yes. It gets worse as you get further out, though, which is a little upsetting. Why? What does this do? Move. Oh, of course. Yeah, it'd be really nice if this wasn't warped, you know? Like why is that a thing? Okay. That's somewhat close, right? Actually, that's good. Yeah, okay, we're good with that. Perfect. I'm fine with that. I say perfect. It's not perfect, but I don't know why adjusting it a little bit more made it work, but it did, so we're not going to be too angry about it. Okay, so now we have our Gripply village. So as they approach, they're going to see something like this, right? This is what they'll be looking over. The waves crashing over. There's a couple of huts. You can see off in the distance that there's trees. This looks like it leads into a place, which makes me wonder, is this not... I think it has to be in here, right? This just only makes sense that the village would be here, right? Because as you come in, as you're sailing up the coast, you're going to come into this little peninsula area. You're going to have land on both sides. This is going to curve up and around. Maybe you can't even see the area over here. And then you're going to see where they've set up all of these things. So the ship is only going to be able to set you down somewhere on the outskirts of here. And then you're going to have to navigate across the Gripply village, or navigate across the nets, the docks, which is all out here. Each square equals 100 feet, which is a lot. And then each of their... Let's see. The Gripply village is set near the near a brackish marsh, near the sea in a brackish marsh. Rising from the muck are circular domed mud brick buildings that the Gripply use for homes and storage facilities. The carapaces and claws of giant crabs feature heavily in their architecture, which makes sense, yeah. Let's see. If the characters get to shore without causing a conflict... Oh, okay, we're too far up. Running the crab maze. Okay, getting to the village is the character's first challenge. Between the characters and the village is a network of cages where the Gripply have kept, captured, and bred giant crabs for centuries. The crab maze is a collection of low-to-the-water walkways ranging in height from just above the water to being submerged up by 2 feet. Each main walkway is wide enough for 2 medium creatures to walk side by side, while the smaller branching ones are wide enough for only a single person. So, gotcha. It says main walkways, so we're gonna say like all these little branching paths, these are probably branching paths, right? This would be a main walkway. I wish there was a little bit more of a indicator here, but you know, whatever. What are you going to do? So either 2 across, which we can get our characters and our party tokens out. If each square is 100 feet, our characters would be super, super tiny. Like so very small. We're going to make them like 1 little foot. And then I gotta go grab them all. Stolas, Emmy, Evie, Alaric, Adom. Their little names are bigger than their tokens, but that's okay. All right. So they get dropped off somewhere out here. It doesn't really matter where. It wants to snap. Maybe I should turn that off. Let's see, can I Scene. Book of cylinders. Can I edit this? Please? No. There's got to be a way. Got to be able to do something. It's down here, isn't it? We're going to remove the snapping on this on a thing this big. So yeah, our party will be stacked up on each other. It happens. They can only fit 2 by 2 on the big ones, 1 by 1 on the others. Honestly, I might just create like a party thing. Because it won't really matter until they get closer up into here, I guess. Maybe we'll just use Stolas to count for the whole party. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm not going to worry about the tokens for right now. I can just create a party token or something, which will help us. Okay. So, let's see. Under the water, in open-topped cages made of netting, lurk a great number of giant crabs that haven't been fed recently. As the characters start to make their way to shore, the water begins to froth as the giant crabs become excited. No craft larger than a rowboat can navigate the net crab maze because the water is too shallow and already occupied by angry giant crabs. The characters are dropped off outside the maze at a point of your choosing. Point of my choosing. Probably down here, right? That would make sense. They're coming from the south. They would be down here. Perfect. So let's just grab Stolas for the fun of it. That's where the party's going to get dropped off. The character's goal, the water is only 4 or 5 feet deep throughout this area, but wading to shore is impossible since the crabs are everywhere. The character's goal is to get to the breakwater that separates the maze from the village while avoiding the crab as much as they can. So this is probably the breakwater here, right? All right. As the characters move, they must make a successful DC 20 dexterity stealth group check every 100 feet to avoid attracting the crabs. If any group check fails, a 1d4 plus 2 giant crabs claw their way out of their cages and attack the characters. Okay. So this could get very annoying very fast. So a DC 20 dexterity group check is fine, I think. We could say that for every failure, or do we want to do every success? It's really hard to know. I would say every success. For every success, maybe this goes down by 1. So 100 feet, each square is going to be 100 feet, right? So let's just, for funsies, let's say they have to make it all the way to here, right? Because none of these connect. The only way to get anywhere is to go here. So they're going to have to go 100, 200, well, every 5 feet. So that's 3 encounters, or 300 feet. So that's 3 rolls. And then we'll just say that's 4 rolls, 5 rolls, 6 rolls, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We'll just say 22 rolls. That's a lot of rolls. That's a lot of potential successes or failures. So what would that do if we did successes, right? So let's check out my parties. I don't want to show you my party stats. That seems a little unfair to them. I need to know my party stats though. So we're going to run this over here to me. So you guys can't see it. I mean, stealth. There's a 3. Alaric is going to carry the team in stealth, I'm sure. Yeah, he has a +10 in stealth. Okay. And that's not bad. Even... Okay. Maybe not. So they're probably going to succeed more than they fail. It'll be a group check. Let me... You know what? We can do some test rolls here. No one has a negative modifier. So that's 3, 13, 23, 24, 29. They have a +29. They have a +29 to their rolls. And if they're going to roll 20 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's not going to work, is it? I'm doing this kind of the wrong way. Let's do 29. And then we're just going to roll 20 times, I guess. So I'd still have to roll for all of them, wouldn't I? I would. I'm an idiot. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roll. Okay, 90 divided by 5 is what? Somebody smarter than me. It's almost 20. What is it, 18? Um, 90 divided by 5 equals 18, exactly. So actually that would have failed. That roll would have failed. So they need to score over 100, essentially. So anything above 100 succeeds. Anything below 100 fails. So that's 1 failure. That's 2 failures. 3 failures. 4 failures. This seems low. I mean, we're rolling super low, but we're failing a lot. Holy crap. Maybe it's because I'm rolling like... I'm just rolling very poorly. Okay. Well. I've not succeeded a single time. Am I just stupid? No, I can't be. DC 20 is still hard. It's easier for some, but not as easy for others. So I think for every failure, I think we lower the DC by 1. I think that's how that would work. So they roll, they fail, right? So now instead of the DC being 20, the DC is 19. So now instead of having to score instead of each person having to roll or having to beat 100, they have to beat, is that 80 or 95, I guess? It removes 1 from each person. And then we just go down the list that way. I think that'll work. But now we're going to have to build some encounters on our other scene. So, yeah. Now we switch scenes. And we go to the crab maze. And we'll build combat on this instead of the others. So we've got our party tokens. What am I going to need? I'm going to need giant crabs. Actually, I have those pulled up on the other ones, don't I? So I need giant crab and huge giant crab. So again, these are what? Though it's this year a quarter, an eighth. This just seems like such a mess. But a huge giant crab is a challenge rating 8. So, I mean, what if we did... Click OK. Can I don't know. Let's save this one. I don't care. Cloakwood fight. Save Cloakwood. And then I need to... We can... If I clear it, is that... Yeah, okay, great. So let's load example. Oh, no. We're going to load Cloakwood. And then we'll just delete these guys. Okay, and then we'll add crab. They don't have huge giant crab. They just have crab and giant crab. What is huge giant crab even from? Tales from the Yawning Portal. Well, that's a bummer. Let's go huge. There's nothing. Nothing. All right. Well, then I have to go with giant crab. Okay, we click OK. I mean, it's not even going to be a fight. It's going to be 2 rounds. It's the same thing, right? I mean, how many giant crabs am I going to have to include? They're not even going to do any damage. Right? I mean, at 20 crabs, we're finally taking damage. This is just not worth it to me. If we do something like this and we create the character encounter here, we have... Let's go huge giant crab there. What are we looking at? It's a medium encounter with just 1 huge giant crab. And then I could add a couple of other... About this. That makes it a hard encounter. It just seems like a complete waste of time, right? I guess is my real concern. Maybe it's because they are expected to fail. Because it's supposed to be 1d4 plus 2 giant crabs. But that just seems like what are we even doing? What are we even doing? Maybe it's just a practice. I mean, maybe it's just supposed to be annoying, right? Maybe that's just what it is. So we go with the giant crab here. We save this image as giant crab. That's in the wrong place. That's unfortunate. It's okay. I can move it to tokens. No problem. Easy. Go huge. Okay, huge giant crab and giant crab are the same effing thing. That makes me sad. Okay, there's that. Right, there's no difference between these 2 images. What a bummer. Except the huge giant crabs are obviously huge. They are huge. which is large is 10 by 10, huge is 15 by 15. I think. Huge. 15 by 15. Yes. Okay. So let's say that they fail. Firstly, we need to go back to Book of Cylinders. I'm not worried about portraits in this case, because that doesn't matter. But I do need giant crab and huge giant crab to make an appearance. There's giant crab. There's huge giant crab. This is not 1 by 1. Okay. Let me do this 1 by 1. That could be 1 by 1. It's a medium creature, which is fine. But then this is not size. It says auto. It's columns 3. Import. Okay, so now if I do giant crab there, and then huge giant crab should be 3. That makes sense. Okay, perfect. So I think what we'll do then is if they just fail, then we'll do the standard crabs. But if they fail by a certain amount, then we'll do a huge giant crab. That'll change things up, right? Now, what does that amount need to be? I don't know. Man. When you're averaging out like this, it gets a little difficult, right? So a DC 20, I mean, they all have to roll pretty high. 2 of them have really high mods. The other 3, one of them has a decent mod, which is good. So 2 of them have more than a 50% chance to succeed, which is pretty darn good. One of them has a 25% chance to succeed. And then the other 2 have like 5% chance to succeed. So I guess that makes sense. What we're really trying to do is get, I mean, if all of them, depending on their roles, the average will do average things. So let's say if they fail to check by 10 or more on average, then they'll fight a giant crab. And if they fail just normally, then it'll just be a normal one, right? Okay, so that'll be the rules. 10 or more, which means they have to roll. Yeah, I mean, you guys get it. It makes sense. It'll take some time in the moment because I'll have to do mathy stuff, but still, it'll need to be done. So there is that. Okay. Let's see. The next thing that we need to do is get some Yuan Ti. So, and then we need to get some Gripply warriors as well. If the characters avoided any contact with the giant crabs, or they have handled those threats with a minimum of commotion, they can easily move over and beyond the breakwater without alerting the Yuan Ti in the village. By taking the shortest path to shore, the characters can make landfall just north of the docks. Several Yuan Ti are roaming through the village when the characters arrive, but the serpent folk are not particularly vigilant. The characters can earn the Yuan Ti's attention by making an undue amount of noise during their approach, or giving themselves away with a display of flashy magic. If they do so, a squad of 5 Yuan Ti purebloods ambush them as soon as they get out of the water. So that's what we need next is this. That can go away. This can stay. We need 1T. Actually, we can do that here, can't we? No A. No A. Why is nothing popping up now? Oh, probably because it's Yuan T, not Yaun. Yuan T. Okay, we have pure bloods, which aren't that hard. Again, if we were to build an encounter around the 1T pure bloods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that's an easy encounter. I guess, to be fair, they've been fighting over and over and over again, right? So it's possible that even though this is easier, there's still going to be a challenge in it since there's so many. The biggest thing is the spell casting, poison spray, and suggestion is super nice. They can cast 3 times per day, each of them. And then the 1T has advantage on saving throws against spells or other magical effects, which is nice. And then 2 melee attacks, or they can hit from afar. Okay, so let us create some 1T. Could go for some T right now. Okay, these are pure blood, so we save this image as 1T pure blood portrait. Beautiful. And then this we just save as the image. Okay, and then I can go to this and this, scroll down, import both, import, portrait moves into portrait, and we're done. Okay, love that for us. That's just a bunch. So the 1T overconfident to a fault are likely to fight to the death without trying to summon reinforcements. To give the characters a stiffer challenge, you can have a patrol of 1d4 plus 2 Yuan-Ti purebloods arrive on the scene, attracted by the sounds of combat before the original squad has been vanquished. Yeah, cool. So we'll do that too. Just add more. The next one we need is the Gripply Warriors. These guys are not... These guys are not the enemy here, but they are important. They're kind of nice, don't they? I think they're kind of nice looking. I like how the image is mirrored. Doesn't make much sense, but it's okay. These aren't enemies. They are allies or NPCs, so they need to be treated as such. So we can go ahead and pull these in. Portrait goes in portrait. And we're good there. Okay. Is there anything else that I need? 1T purebloods. Well, you got 1T Malisons. I don't know what a Malison is, but we got lots of types. Okay. It says any type. Are they all the same type? I'm gonna need all of them, so do they look different? That's the biggest thing for me. Type 1. So, okay, they all look the same. So I don't need to create multiple images for each of them. Okay, they'll each do something different, I guess. I mean, why would they be different types if they didn't? Guess they have, it's the different form that they're in, I suppose. Either way, though, save this image as the portraits. Oh, this is type 4 and 5 portraits. Does that mean these have different? That says, oh, that's type 4. Okay, that's type 1. I don't understand. They look exactly the same to me. Corporate wants you to find the difference between these two pictures. And they're the same picture. One has a yellow background and one has a white background. Okay. Cool. Maybe in info we'll find something. No. A Malison is a hideous blend of human and serpentine features. 3 different types of Malisons are known to exist. The other types are possible. Malisons form the middle caste of 1T society and hunt with arrows tipped with their own venom. They use their magical powers of suggestion to force their enemies to surrender. Okay, this is 2. It says the same thing. This is 3 and says the same thing. Okay. Let's see. And it seems to be the same thing. We have another map, though, that we need to upload. So let's upload this before I get lost in the sauce. Scenes. Book of Cylinders. This is the temple. Okay. Boom, boom. Oh, what am I doing? I have these already, don't I? I just need to figure out what they are. Let's see. That is not the right map. These are the maps that I need. Okay. There we go. That looks just in general better. Forgot I had these. Import that. And then we can delete this one. Oh, this one. Delete you. Yeah, thanks. And then this is the next map that I needed. This is a temple. Import. Beautiful. Love it. All right. You're set there. I forgot that I had those already. I didn't need to do it. Okay. We have 1T abominations. That's another thing. Guess all these can go away. I still don't know the difference. I'm gonna have to look up the difference between 1T, like the types, so that I can explain them better. But we also have an abomination, which I don't see here. Oh, it starts with an A because I'm stupid. That's why. 1T abomination. Oh, hello. You look cool. You look the most 1T of all of them. Why are you the abomination? When I think 1T, this is what I think of. Apparently I'm wrong. Apparently these are the bad ones. I guess it is the strongest of most of the 1Ts, so that makes sense. Okay. Love it. I mean, is there anything? Yeah, I guess the Sekalok is a 1T. And then the Anathemas are... Oh, look at you. Aren't you cool? I don't think they have to fight an anathema. Maybe I should make them fight an anathema. I bet they could do it. The anathema has advantage. Let's see. Let's see if my party could even do it, right? This can go away. Actually, let's go Yuan T anathema. Click OK there. Okay, never mind. The anathema would destroy them. It wouldn't even be close. Okay, good to know. At least they're not that strong. But abomination, what are we looking at here? Oh, okay, I'm at 20. I'm sorry, only one. It says that they were going to almost... I mean, that's disgusting, right? Maybe I should have them fight an anathema then. I don't know. Just swap it out. Instead of an abomination, it be an anathema. No, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see if I add others, because the following events are unfolding as the party enters. This is the upper court of the temple. This is the temple itself. Lashed to a makeshift altar are two neutral good Yuan-Ti, a type 1 Yuan-Ti Malison named Maz, and a Yuan-Ti pureblood named Vorsa. They are being tortured by an evil Yuan-Ti, or Yuan-Ti, abomination that is presiding over a ritual. An enormous sarcophagus rests behind them, its exterior carved with two serpents. Two Yuan-Ti Malisons, type 1 and type 3. Okay. Type 3s have human heads, upper body with a serpentine lower body instead of legs. So that's apparently the types. Type 1 has a human body with a snake head. Type 2 has a human head and body with snakes for arms. That's cool. Type 3s have human heads and upper body with a serpentine lower body instead of legs. And then I don't know what the other type 4 and 5 have. I did know. Type 4s have a human form with one or more serpentine tails. Like they're humans, but they have tails, or... And then type 5, human form covered in scales. So they just have tails, like serpent-like tails. Okay, cool. That's fun. So in this case, it would be... This can go away. I don't know why these, I guess, don't matter much, but they do kind of matter. We'd have a type 1 and a type 3. So that's an anathema. If I did an anathema instead of an abomination, this is essentially what it would look like. The druid nearly die, but they can fix that. Man, it makes me really want to go anathema status instead of abomination. I still want to include an abomination somewhere, but I think in the final fight, I want it to be an anathema. The problem is that up to this point, it really depends how many resources they use, right? If my cleric is out of spell slots, and my druid is low on spell slots, and my monk is out of key, then this fight's a lot harder, right? But, like... These show up on round 2. The results are still the same. Well, you know what? We're going to include an anathema just to see what happens here. I don't know if there's a difference between these. I don't remember which came out. This is Mordecaian. Mordenkainen. And this is Volo. I don't remember which came out first. I guess we could find out. Is that what I want? It's not really what I want either. Books. Okay, Mordecai came out years after, 6 years after. So Mordecai is the most updated one. So that's the one we would want to use. Okay. I mean, this would be very hard. Multi-attack, anathema form only. Snake form only. They're shapeshifters, right? Ophidiophobia form. Ophidiophobia. Wow. Any creature of the anathema's choice, other than a snake or a Yuan-ti, that starts its turn within 30 feet of the anathema, must succeed on a DC 17 Wisdom saving throw or become frightened of snakes and Yuan-ti. A frightened target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. If a target's saving throw is successful, or the effect ends for it, the target is immune. Okay, 6 heads. The anathema has advantage on saves against being blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, stunned, or knocked unconscious because it has 6 heads. That makes a lot of sense. Multi-attack. The anathema makes 2 claw attacks and 1 flurry of bites. Shape change. The anathema transforms into a huge constrictor snake or back into its true form. Its statistics are the same in each form. Any equipment it is wearing or carrying isn't transformed. So it has 2 options. So in anathema form, it can claw and flurry of bites. As a snake, it'll constrict. This is a bonus action. I was about to say, what is this? A bonus action. So what I would probably do then is on the first turn, it would probably attack using its anathema form, right? And then it essentially would be like a 1v5. And then on turn 2, the other 2 would actually, it probably wouldn't be necessarily turn-based. It would be based on whenever the players interacted with them, because the 2 other Malisons, they would be doing the ritual on the other 2. So as long if they weren't interrupted, it's possible that the ritual gets finished. That could be fun. Okay. However, what happens if they fail? I guess maybe I don't have it. Maybe I'm not leaving them room to fail, because if they escalate, if they don't mess with the others, it says that it takes, even after the Yuan-ti notice the characters, their first priority is to complete the ritual, which opens the lid of the sarcophagus and kills the prisoners. With fast action and accurate attacks, the characters can interrupt the ritual and prevent further harm to the victims. The abomination must use 2 of its turns to finish performing the ritual, which climaxes with 1 more sounding of the chime as the lid is thrown open. If the abomination takes any damage before the ritual stops, or before the ritual, it stops what it's doing and turns its attention to the interlopers and attacks them. Wait, I'm so confused. They are being tortured by an evil abomination that is presiding over the ritual. An enormous, 2 Yuan-ti are positioned on either side of it. Both are evil. One carries a lantern that is the source of the illumination, and the other one is holding up a chime, preparing to strike it. As the characters take in the scene, the abomination is studying the script, engrossed in what it sees. At a gesture from the abomination, the chime is struck as it rings out. Okay. But who's defending them? I don't know. Guess we'll figure that out. Let us go ahead and create these so that I have them. This is the portrait here. And then this will be just the straight up anathema. And then, this will go into here. And then I can just pop them in. Got the Wanty Abomination portrait, the Wanty Abomination, the Anathema portrait, the Anathema, I'm going to have to create, let's find more of these Wanty types because I want them to be accurate, right? Let's go Yuan T Malison types. Okay. Absolutely nothing. Thank you for nothing. Okay, this is correct. This is the type 3 that they were talking about, right? But it's in figure form. Why can't I have it in art form? Okay, what is this? This is DeviantArt. This is type 1. Is that correct even? Type 1s have human body with snake head. So that's correct for type 1. Type 2 is human head and body with snakes for arms. That's not a type 2. And then type 3 is human head and upper body with serpentine lower body instead of legs. So that's accurate for type 3. They just made this up as far as type 2s go. So thanks for that. So let's go. This is clearly a type 1, right? And do I already have that? Maybe. I do have. This can be Wanty type 1 because it seems pretty accurate. Type 1. Oh, I'll do this. Okay. Boom. And then we need to take this, save this image. Wanty type 1 is fine. Boom. And then that goes here. Okay. So we have type 1. We have the abomination. We have the anathema. We can import all that in a second. Okay. So now I need to find. That can go away. That can go away. I need to go type 2. This is this is correct. I don't necessarily like it, but it's correct. This is the better one, but again, it's in miniature form. This is something not necessary. Kind of cool. This is correct again, but okay. RPG stock art. I mean, that's not incorrect. So we can. Oh, it wants me to pay for that. That's understandable. I'm not mad at you for it. I'm just not going to do it. So, man, not a lot of love for type 2s, huh? I mean, I get it. It's probably the most inconvenient. Got it in Lego form, for crying out loud. I mean, that's it, but that's DeviantArt. I mean, that's accurate too. That looks like it's just the 3D model of that Pitmaster we saw up there. Might be the best option I got. And this is from Forgotten Realms. I guess we go with this, right? I mean, it's from Forgotten Realms. It's posted by Sir Whiteout. We'll go with this route here. We can save this image as... We'll do Juan T. Malison, and this is my type 2 portrait. Save, and then token, clear workspace. Okay. Take this. Boom. Make bigger. Border. I kind of want this smaller to kind of get some of his arm in there, so it makes it look like it's more snake-like. So we'll do that. Download token. The heck? How weird. Anyway, get rid of portrait. And then we move that to tokens. And then now we have type 2. Okay. And then type 3 is a human head and upper body with a serpentine lower body instead of legs. Great. That one's easy, I assume. We'll find lots of those. That doesn't count. That's a abomination. This kind of counts. I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't count. It counts. She counts too. Love it. Yuan T in their different looks. Yeah. Type 1, type 2, type 3. Oh, this is from Wizards. Okay, perfect. That's even better. Save image as. We're going to save this as. Oh, man. Let's go all files so that I can see all of them. Juan T. Malison type 3 portrait. Perfect. And then clear this workspace. Why does it look like that? Okay, let me do this then. Control C, we can delete this. I'm gonna have to go back here and find the same thing. Because for whatever reason, type 3, save. There we go. For whatever reason, sometimes when you change it to all files, it wants to save it as something like an all file, and it's really weird. I think it's a like kind of a bug with actually we probably want this smaller as well. We want to show off her tail, right? Yeah, love it. I think it's a bug with like OneDrive, but I don't know, it's weird. Okay, remove portrait, enter tokens, and then if you have a good image for a type 4, you don't. You do not. What is a type 4? Type 4, human form with one or more serpentine tails. I have not seen a single image like that. Not a single image. What is this? Oh, that's scary, isn't it? I know we said there's not a lot of love for type 2s, but there seems to be even less love for type 3s. Because everything about it, or I'm sorry, a type 4, because everything about a type 4 is human, except it has a snake tail. Not legs, it still has legs. It just also has a tail. I mean, to be fair, there aren't any type 4s in this module. I would have liked to include one of each just to kind of show at least one of each. Oh, no. That's close. I mean, that's not close. It's it looks cool. It's not that close. Let's just go D&D. Let's see if I can do this. Hold on. Duplicate this tab, and then I want, if I put human with snake tail, it's just gonna give me a human with snake legs, isn't it? No. Hey, look at that. Okay, well, I had to go and ruin it with the demon legs. Man, such a bummer. I just want a human with a snake tail. Let's say human with snake for a tail. Will that make a difference? Kind of. I mean, that's closer. Again, why can't we do... I don't want a snake lady. Okay, this is really cool. This is a Naga Serpent Archer. That's a sick model right there. Not gonna lie, that's super cool. Also not what we're looking for. If only I could draw. If only I had any artistic bone in my body. I could apparently be the only mother effer in the entire world that's drawn a Type 4 Yuan-ti. How silly. Because none of these are right. What if I just remove the D&D? Maybe it's still picking up like... No, this is snake for legs. This is not with a snake tail. Look, all of this art is cool. A lot of this art is really neat. Just not what I'm looking for. What about as a tail? No. These are all humans that have replaced their legs with tails. Or with snake body. That's not what I want. I want human legs, snake tail. Okay, well, I guess we're just not getting any Type 4 Yuan-ti, and that makes me sad. We need more Type 4 Yuan-ti representation. I need to commission someone just to draw that. What's a Type 5 again? Human form covered in scales. Okay, well, that should be easy, right? I mean, this is probably a Type 5. That's close. I don't know the difference. I guess this is... What's a Yuan-ti pureblood? Like, why is... She doesn't have scales. That guy's hand is at a really awkward angle. This is fair, right? That's a Yuan-ti. That's a Type 5. She could be a Type 5. That would make sense too. You look like a Type 5. You look crazy. Absolutely nuts. Okay, well, I found several examples of a Type 5. I just need to choose one, I suppose. So, these animations are super cool. Like, this is really neat. I like these. It's not what I'm looking for. This is too cute. I couldn't use this art. It just looks too good. I think I'm going to have to use this art and try to take out him. I mean, it's not hard to do. She looks more like a pureblood than type 5, right? She looks cool, but more pureblood. Like her. So that won't work. It would work, but you know, whatever. I would like to be accurate. That looks like a type 5 Yuan T. We can't see the bottom half, but okay, let's just go with her. This is off the wiki as well, so I feel more comfortable using this here anyway. Just need to find that image again. That's a brood guard. That's scary, isn't it? Okay, well now I don't know where it is. Is it part of... There it is. This was in 3E. Save image as... we get to scroll down. This is type 5 portrait. Save. Okay, love it. I'm just gonna leave this alone. I don't really care enough. I don't know. It's not that I don't care. It's just I have less care now than I did a few minutes ago after I couldn't find what I was looking for. Border style. Boom. Make you bigger. Kind of want to cut that out. That's annoying, isn't it? If I make it bigger, I suppose that will cut that out. Okay, there we go. Do the same thing, remove portraits, move to tokens, go to owlbear, pull up tokens, carry over the portrait, carry over the token, and now we have Abomination, Anathema, Type 1, Type 2. What did I do with Type 3? I didn't carry them over. Type 3, Type 3, Type 4 just doesn't exist. We import. Love that for us. And then move portraits into portraits. Okay. There is that. And then where is my temple scene? Scene, book cylinders, temple. Go ahead and preload our characters into here. Go characters, book of cylinders. We got probably an abomination here, probably an anathema here. Got a type 1 here and a type 3 here. Okay, and then the abomination will attack the party first. And then they'll probably peel off and they'll have to do whatever it is that they're doing. Party tokens go here. We also need another type 1 on the thing. And another type 3 here. Actually, it's not a type 3 at all. It's a pureblood, right? They're Yuan-Ti pureblood there. Okay, these guys are the good guys, more or less. They are the ones being sacrificed. These guys are doing their thing. This guy is going to fight the party, I suppose. And then as things get rough, we'll see how that goes. So There we go. And then the only thing I really need to do, or make sure, because I don't really need to, but when we're out here in the swamps, this is the one that's going to get crazy. Kind of worried about this because there's going to be all kinds of stuff, but I have all of my, I have allies and NPCs. So we have our Grippleys, we have our enemies, so we should be all set. I still have some work to do, but my head is starting to hurt and I'd rather not push it any further. So pretty much what I have to do before the end of next week is make sure that I have all this stuff organized and get it going. I mean, you've seen it's been 3 hours and we're like maybe halfway through with the process. I need to make sure I get everything back onto the map and make sure that's good to go. I also need to make sure my spreadsheet is all filled out. So each of the little encounters that I talked about will need to be added to here. So the meeting room and the coastway optional encounters, and then these will become encounters as well. So this will be the crab maze that I mentioned before. This will be the beachhead, and then this will be the village, and this will be the temple, and then so on and so forth. Each area, not necessarily each encounter, but each area will have its own tab, and that way I can track and keep up with everybody doing their own thing. So that's kind of how it goes. We'll fill out like all the loot and stuff that they find along the way. There will be encounters with some of the Gripply as well. It'll be a fun time. So we'll definitely figure out the rest of that soon. But I'm going to go lay down for a bit because I imagine I'm going to have another pretty rough night with Coda. So that is it for me. Tonight, or I'm sorry, should be streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday, right? So we should be back with some Final Fantasy 13, which is good. We'll be playing that. And then Friday will be Expanse all day. I don't know about Saturday. I know I keep saying no. I'm supposed to have a birthday party that I'm supposed to go to that evening, but it really depends how Coda is doing. She did not do well last night at all, and there were barely any fireworks. And I just know that since the 4th is on a Thursday, they're going to be going all weekend. And so I'm going to give her some of her extra medicine tonight. Like over the next 3 days, I'm going to give her some of the like extras. They're not like leftovers. What I mean is like I'm going to give her 2 instead of 1. Which is perfectly fine. I'm not trying to poison my dog. But we're going to do that and see how that, if she can stay calm and see how it is. The problem is that like several years ago, I don't leave her alone for holidays anymore or for like 4th or New Year's, things like that. A few years ago, I think I went to a New Year's Eve party and she like did her best to chew and claw her way out of her metal kennel. And she messed up her face from the metal because she broke off pieces of it. So she messed up her face. She messed up some of her teeth. She ripped an entire claw off her paw. So I came home and there was just blood everywhere and she was hurt and crying and like freaking out. And I mean, I just can't do that to her again. So if the medicine helps over the next couple days, I assume the biggest nights are going to be Thursday, Friday. And so if that medicine helps, then good. If not, then I'll probably be here Saturday and streaming. Because what else am I going to do? I'm not worried about the daytime. I'm just worried about the night. So, and I mean, if the birthday party was during the day, that'd be great. But it starts at like 4:30, and I think it's an hour and a half to get out there. And then what am I going to do? Say hi and come immediately back? Like the fireworks are going to start at 7, 8 o'clock. So we'll see. That really depends. But if I'm not streaming Saturday, I'll be streaming Sunday. We're probably going to finish Tunic on that day. We made good progress last Sunday, so it's a good possibility we beat Tunic. And then we'll be back on Monday with more Final Fantasy. So we're making good progress in that game too. I think we're like 10.5 hours in. So hopefully a couple more weeks and we'll be done with that. But yeah, so that is it from me. As always, love you guys. Appreciate you for being here while you can, in whatever capacity. Next week on Wednesday, we should be back with the actual game. So you'll get to see how all of this prep turns into what the actual game, what happens. Some of the things will happen, some of the things won't, and we'll have to adjust as we go. But it's kind of what it looks like. So yeah, love you guys. Appreciate you. And see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.